Hello there. Round 7 action finally from the Skilling Open. We're following this very strong online tournament, part of the Champions Chess Tour. Now we are going to be looking at the game, which has, well, some political undertone, although I think these players in general are in good terms and don't let this situation affect them. But of course there is this ongoing situation with Armenia and Azerbaijan. But this is an online chess tournament, so we're not going to get into those matters. But Radjabov, he won a nice game in round 6, so trying to, fix his standing in the table. Aronian was doing well on day 1, but it's going to be a dogfight for the top 8 to qualify for the knockouts, and so this is an important game for both players. d4 by Radjabov, who has white, knight f6, c4, e6, and this seems to be the preferred way by many people to reach the queen's gambit declined here after d5 on the third move, to play knight f6 and e6 first, knight c3, bishop e7, bishop f5, f4, one of the main lines, bishop d5 or bishop f4 are the moves, and in this case Radjabov goes for bishop f4. Both are tried and tested. Of course, black is very solid in both lines. A difficult opening to break down, and that's why it has been popular in almost every, well, actually in every World Championship match ever played. Now, c5 is the more active option here, but Radjabov goes for c6. On one hand, maybe bunkering down on d5, but also maybe you want to take on c4 and play b5. Get some options, and after bishop e2, black is happy to take on c4 because white has to spend 2 moves to take on c4, and now he can play b5. Bishop d3 and a6. So in an ideal world, black would like to play c5 and bishop b7, and he will have a solid position. But Radjabov goes for an aggressive line here, plays b4, and the idea is simple. You want to stop black from going c5. If you can do that, this bishop might become a bit of a bad piece. So black tries to break this down immediately with a5, but rook b1 by Radjabov. ab, and bishop b7. Queen c2 by Radjabov, and knight b6. So white hasn't castled, and he's playing this very aggressively and interestingly. And after e4, it looks like black is in some trouble. We're threatening to play e5. Aronian tried knight c4 here, threatening this one, but bishop c1. Now if you go knight a3, I simply take it and then play e5, and you might have some issues here. So the knight goes to d7, and now e5. And black is in some trouble. He'd like to play, well, you would love to play this move, h6, but then you have to factor in maybe queen e2, queen e4, and just lining up here with the queen in front. Not good. g6. White hasn't castled, so now h4, h5 is on the agenda. The alpha 0 fawn pawn push. So in the end, Aronian decided to give up this pawn. But this just seems like things have gone horribly wrong for black. Bishop comes back to e4. White is up his pawn, and after e5, d5, this king is feeling the heat. After queen c8, I mean, it's hard to suggest moves here for black. Queen e2, eyeing some kind of tactic, getting this knight away, and then queen will come into h5, and we have a quick mate with jack, jack, and queen, jack. So knight d6. At least hitting the bishop here on e4, but knight g5. Turns out black is in huge trouble here. He would like to play this, but this would allow us to give a check here. Again, if you go here, there's going to be this mate here. Well-known mechanism, worth playing it over once. Jack, jack, checkmate. And if you, at some stage, you go bishop h6, I can just take it. Sorry, I was going to, go here. This, we can just take it. And that's not going to be good. Especially since if you take this guy, we have Anastasia mate, well, kind of reversed Anastasia mate here. So Aronian decided to give up his queen. He played queen takes e1. This comes with check. So now he can take the knight on g5 with this bishop. Hoping to fight with, well, unfortunately just 2 pieces of the queen. So it's going to be a tough fight. Rook d1 by Radjabov. We have a trade here. Knight f6. And this will be good if white didn't have counterattack. Queen g6 hitting the bishop. So we get the bishop back. So it's still only 2 pieces. So it's not going to be enough. Bishop to d3. Okay, white can castle, but that's not a big deal. We're threatening checkmate, so there's no time to give a check here. Rook g8, queen h4 check, knight back, and now the king comes out. Rook d8, rook c1. All the white pieces are on dark squares, so there's not going to be any problem with a discovery by this piece. Bishop c4 check, king back to e1. The rook tries to become active, queen in. But the material is just too much here. Knight f6, rook c3, threatening to bring the rook over. And that's actually decisive, as you'll see here. Rook takes f2. Can you find the next 2 moves for white, which prompted Aronian to resign here? Give you a quick 5 seconds. He played rook h3. Check, you have to interpose. What do you do now? Takes. Aronian resigned. King takes, queen check, picking up the rook. Nothing left to fight for, and Aronian had to resign here. So 2 wins in a row on the trot for Teimour Radjabov, who now, moves up a bit in the standings. Meanwhile, at the top, Carlsen, Giri, and Nepomniachtchi are doing just fine, and they look poised to qualify for the top 8. But we'll see what happens, and we'll keep looking at these games. Before we leave this game, a quick roundup of the cap score that the guys had. Radjabov again playing well here, 97%, but not the best day for Aronian, 80.5%, and a lot of mistakes, some inaccuracies, and overall Radjabov just played better. He had his, well, nominal advantage of the white pieces, and it looks like he just increased it. Some drops, but overall this game seemed to be firmly in the control of Teimour. So good game by him, and see you in the next video, guys. Bye bye.